Okay.
So we've got a ball one, strike one count on the first batter for Wabash against Tulsa, Oklahoma. Game number 3 in the winning bracket. It is only 2 teams. There's a little hard-hit ball to the shortstop. Picked up to the shortstop in front of it. Will be out at first base as Luke Allen with a nice play. 6-3 shortstop to the first baseman.
Had a good play. He just topped the ball, and the shortstop hustled, come in, made a good throw, and he was out.
Well, do you think the run here, since both teams are, Tulsa has only played 1 game.
And this is a big game of this basketball tournament right here in Huntington. The winner of this game is highly favored to win the whole thing and go on to Kokomo. And just who that winner will be, we'll find out in just a minute. Now, here's the sports voice for Wabash County, Bill Rogge.
Hi, sports fans. This is Bill Rogge along with Weldon Brook and Bob Hag and Worth Purchase, and we're up here in Huntington, Indiana. And believe it or not, if we look at the clock, it says about 12 minutes after 12. Both Huntington and Wabash are on the floor warming up, and this gym is nearly capacity right now. The only ones that seem to be bearing in their seats are actually the white students, and the white boys are here, but the girls, slow to offend, from White High School in Wabash County have yet to show up. But outside of that, about every seat in this gym is jammed to the rafters, and we're still about 20 minutes away from game time up here. But what a crowd we're going to have, and what a first game we're going to have. Remember, the first game of the sectional was played on Thursday night. It was White High School, coached by Coach Dave Fulkerson, winning over Southwood High School, coached by Dan Wilson. By the score, it was White 76. It was 54 for Southwood High School. Now we're in the afternoon session. It's Wabash versus Huntington, and what a match that's going to be. Wabash and Huntington played earlier in the year. Huntington won by 10 points. And both Huntington and Wabash fans talking to them outside as we come in. It was jammed to the rafters out there. Wabash very confident that they can pull off an upset over Huntington, and Huntington seems to be very confident that they're going to have no problem with the Wabash Apaches. Well, first of all, let's hear from one of our fine sponsors. Then we're going to name all of our fine sponsors up here today, and you know who they are. They're the same guys that brought you all the Wabash games all year long. Well, then let's hear from one of them, and then we'll go run down the list of who they are.
Fine, Bill. The First National Bank wishes to remind you that now is the time to start planning for that vacation this summer. By starting a vacation saving plan now, you will be able to add a little extra enjoyment to your vacation this summer. The Vacation Club acts just like a Christmas club. At Wabash County's strongest bank. That's the First National Bank in Wabash, Indiana. That's my bank. Bill?
Well, I don't know who furnished all the straw hats, but Wabash fans right now are getting straw hats. The whole crowd over there, Bob Hag, is getting a straw hat. How about that?
Yeah, that's real nice, Bill.
They're passing them out row by row, and the cheerleaders and the bus drivers, the cheerleader sponsor, and everybody in that crowd's going to have a straw hat on today. So it's a white hat with the orange banner around, and now the Wabash Huntington boys cheer block are giving the Wabash girls cheering block somewhat of a little bit e-haul over there.
Bill Rogge, we're at the Cub Caravan up here in Fort Wayne, and Bob Brimley, who you hear on our network every day at the Cubs play. And Bob Brimley, it's my pleasure to introduce myself and say hello to you for the Wabash, Indiana fans.
Well, it's my pleasure to talk to all the fans in Wabash, Indiana. We've got a lot of fans throughout Indiana, as well as Illinois and Iowa and throughout the Midwest, and it's always fun to go on these caravans and meet the people that listen to the ball games, the people that are out riding the tractors while they're working in the fields or riding their cars or working around the house and listening to the ball games. It's always a pleasure to meet the people.
Now, Bob Brimley, you, of course, were with San Francisco, moved in with the Cubs last year. The Cubs were somewhat of a little bit of a disappointment in your year, but they made some really outstanding free agent signings this year. What's your opinion of the Cubs?
Well, first of all, last season, you have to look at the number of injuries suffered, particularly by the pitching staff. They lost 6 pitchers for a serious amount of time last season. Any team, you take the Oakland A's and take 6 of their pitchers away, they're going to have a rough season. And the Cubs were no exception. They had a tough time of it. You mentioned the acquisitions this winter. Dave Smith, a relief pitcher from Houston Astros, one of the better relief pitchers in the game of baseball, has averaged over 27 saves a season throughout his 8-year career. Danny Jackson, left-hander starter from the Reds, another fine pickup. He's had some questionable health in the past, but He's been checked out by the Cubs team doctors. He's reported to be healthy and ready to go and should have a big year. The biggest acquisition in my mind, and I think most of the Cub fans, is George Bell. Just an outstanding offensive ball player, an RBI machine. He's averaged over 22 home runs and 80 RBIs a season in his 8-year career, and really a good leader, intensity-type ball player. He's going to go out there and push. The Cubs have leaders, but they're guys that lead by example. Andre Dawson, Ryan Sandberg, Mark Grace, they're leaders, but they do it in a very quiet way.